For the last few weeks, we've been talking about World War II in our homeschool. Today happens to be about concentration camps. And although that subject can be pretty sensitive to talk about, the stories of the survivors bring us hope. And one of those stories is from Viktor Frankl, who was an Austrian Jew. He was a psychiatrist, and he helped those people with, they had depression, or if they had mental illness, or who were suicidal. And he helped them to understand that there's meaning to life and that they're loved and important. And he continued this on even after he was captured in the concentration camps. He was in Auschwitz, and then he was later transferred to Dachau, which was one of the original concentration camps that they had. And because of that, he was subjected to the most terrible conditions imaginable. And I'm going to read to you a little bit of his story from our homeschool curriculum that we use that gives some quotes that he said. But he was forced to work many hours a day with almost no food, and he saw many of his fellow prisoners simply give up on their lives and waste away. He could not allow that to happen to himself, and he tried to inspire others to keep their hope alive. But one day, while stumbling along in the freezing dark, headed to a work site, starving and sick, he said he finally understood something that had puzzled him for years. And he wrote, "The truth that love is the ultimate and the highest goal to which man can aspire. The salvation of man is through love and in love." And he emphasized that everyone should ask not what life will bring them, but what they may bring to life through their work. And later on, he goes to say one of in his book. It's actually called "Man's Search for Meaning," which I'm going to add to my reading list because that book has been read by millions of people in almost every country in the world. But one of his most famous quotes is, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, and it's the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way." In our lives, we must choose. And there's only so many choices, even though we feel that there's many different directions that we can go. It's the choice of our attitude and of how we are going to handle the situation. It is very difficult for us to wrap our minds around that sometimes because we're so clouded by the darkness and the confusion and the anger and the guilt, and it's hard for us to move forward. And if we can find a way to push through that and to find the joy in the little things and to find the hope, then we can be on such a better path. We're still going to end up going through that journey of either growth or downhill, if whatever you are going to allow that to be in your life, and hopefully it's uphill. But the attitude that you have can bring the most blessings. And so I hope you'll think about that, and that's something that you can apply in your life, is to bring hope to others and to yourself and see the changes that it can make. And also just to be forgiving for yourself and others. It can make a whole world of difference.